Pavanika, you have to mute yourself. Pavanika, there's a lot of disturbance from your side, I believe. Good evening, Brijesh sir.
Hi. Good evening. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, Brijesh, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Hi. After a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, around 6:30 will be starting, right?
Yes. We are just admitting the students now. So once they are there, we'll start. Brijesh, we'll start.
Yeah, yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, I will just give the introduction. A very good evening to all. I, Professor Jyoti Patil, Department of Architecture, Gopte Institute of Technology, Belagavi, would like to welcome our speaker of today's event, Architect Brijesh Shaijal. I welcome Principal Professor J.K. Kittur. I welcome Head of the Department, Professor N.R. Tadkodkar. I welcome Organizing Committee, Professor R.D. Kavilkar, Professor G.M. Samrekar, Professor Pavanika Patil, Professor Prasad Kulkarni. I welcome faculties, dear students, and colleagues from fraternity to this Space Talks webinar series 2. It's our honor to see so many audience for today's talk. We really appreciate your participation for this virtual gathering. Now, I request Professor G.M. Samrekar to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, Jyoti. A warm good evening from all of us here. I, Professor Geeta Samrekar from the Department of Architecture, KLS Gupta Institute of Technology, Belagavi, welcome you all for the virtual gathering today. We will be now a part of a very interesting webinar, the second in the series of the webinars presented by Architect Brijesh Shaijal. I hope I have announced your name correctly, sir. The webinar is part of this series of Space Talk, which is a flagship event of our department towards enriching the students and faculty with the developments happening in the field of architecture and the profession. It's a series of the talks where eminent architects are invited to share their ideologies, design philosophies, and experiences in their practice with all of us. Space Talk series had a humble beginning a decade ago, catering to the students and the faculty of the region. We are now proud to go national as well as global with our series of Space Talk webinars, all again possible due to the virtual platform. We had the first of the series of the webinar presented by architect Chetan Shivprasad from Bengaluru, and now architect Brijesh Shaijal, and many more to follow. At the outset, I welcome guest speaker of today's webinar, architect Brijesh Shaijal, a multifaceted personality, principal architect of DAC, Design, Art and Culture, founder of Design Ashram, MD, World Architecture Travel, trustee of the Institute of Design, and the list goes on. We are very fortunate, sir, to have you present today. A hearty welcome to you, sir. Today we have amongst us viewers, among the viewers, many architects, faculty, and students of different schools of architecture, and also people from other fields. I take this opportunity to welcome you all for the webinar. I welcome our principal, Dr. J.K. Kittur, for the webinar. Welcome, sir. Warm welcome to our beloved head of the department, Professor Nishita Tadkodkar ma'am, for the event. I welcome my dear students and faculty for the webinar. Once again, I welcome one and all for a very exciting evening. Thank you.
Jyoti, ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. Cannot hear you.
I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I would like to do a detailed introduction about architect Brijesh. Architect Brijesh is the founding partner and principal architect of Design, Art and Culture, DAC, architectural practice based in Calicut. He serves as the National Council member and chairman of Young Architects Committee, the Indian Institute of Architects. Architect Brijesh and architect Nimisha established Design Ashram, a community space for like-minded people to connect, create, and network for a better future. He's the governing council member and trustee at Avani Institute of Design. BS Architects grew into a respectable firm, becoming trendsetters by retaining authentic heritage with modern lifestyle statements. Beginning with mostly residential and commercial projects, the practice had in a decade accumulated numerous projects and won many awards. To name a few, IA Gold Leaf Award in the year 2009, in the year 2013, 2015, and 2017. Designer Young Architects Award in the year 2010, most prestigious Wade Award for institutional project for Karapparamba School in 2019, and the list goes on. In 2015, Brijesh stepped into the realm of urban design and started designing public projects. trying to fulfill the firm's social responsibility by creating public spaces that inspire a sense of ownership among the people. Taking his passion for the travel to the next level, Bridges set up World Architecture Travel, an exclusive travel enterprise providing architecturally curated tours to over 40 destinations globally. WAP has conducted several uber successful journeys to places exploring the local rich culture, art, and architecture while simultaneously providing architects and designers a platform for networking with global architecture fraternity. Brijesh has also been involved in CRI, that is, the Clean Rivers Initiative aims to combat river pollution and raise awareness of the needs of the rivers, highlighting the things we take for granted through water sports and event oriented around the rivers. I wouldn't want to hold the audience any further from our resource person. And I also request, everybody to kindly write in your questions in the chat box during the presentation as they would be read out during the question answer session. Handing over to you, Brijesh.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Principal Dr. Jackie Kittur and HOD Professor Nishita R. Katkotkar, and my dear friend and senior from my own institute, Professor Jyoti Patel, ma'am, and all the organizers, faculty, and my student friends. So I'm so happy and glad to be here with your institute. I know it's a little tough time for all of us. Otherwise, physical presence was much more preferred. But during this pandemic, there is no other way. But looking forward to come and meet you all in the future in the institute. So I'll do one thing. I mean this. I sent maybe a small profile of mine, but I don't know from where all you did this detailed one. I'm happy to hear that, but it's all a very humble start. I am from a small village in Kerala, and then I studied in BLD Bijapur, very close to your city. So I have a lot of memories which still holds to that zone. I used to come to Belgaum also those days. So this is very close to my heart. This city is near to Bijapur too. So I'll just go through a small presentation, then we can have more interactive section. So can I present my presentation? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay. Is it visible for all?
Yes.
Okay. So once again, thanks for this invitation for your space talk. And I wish you will reach into a different level in the next couple of series. Wish you all the best for that. And I will start with one of my favorite project, that is Government Higher Secondary School, which was which is one of our pro bono project, which we, our firm DAC, designed for Indian Institute of Architect Calicut Center. And this was one of the school supposed to close. I'll just show you a glimpse of that space so that, like, you have more clarity about it. Then I'll talk about the space.
Brijesh, there is sound attached to it, or?
I can't hear it. Sorry.
I am unable to hear. I don't know.
Okay, 1 minute.
Bhavanika, is it audible?
No, there's no sound.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
But
okay.
only,
So
yeah.
I'll forget about that's just a music.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, this is a school in the city center, which was about to close because hardly there were around 70 students and all. And as you know, the government schools are always considered as the last option to put students. Otherwise, nowadays all the international schools and so-called new generation schools are there. So our attempt here was like, along with the government agencies, MLA, and the PTA and all, we were trying to come up with a revolution in terms of the school spaces, that is the public school spaces. The project is called PRISM. PRISM is promoting regional schools through to international standards through multiple interventions. We come in that multiple intervention part. So architects, what we are, our contribution was like, to recreate that spaces and bring quality spaces there. And so the students, faculty, everyone will get a feel of ownership, and that feel of proudness will make them, think positive about that space, and their education quality and all will change. Here it is not just architecture, we also had intervention into their academics, and even to an extent their uniform also we change. So sorry, the students here, their attitude towards a school is totally changed in terms of they won't put any waste in the school, or they keep their space very clean. They themselves say that, so since the school is changed, we ourselves want to do their part, and they started learning more and things like that. So here we try to keep more as a green approach, and we want to keep all these trees, everything in place. We didn't cut any single tree, and we added a couple of elements, architectural elements. One, you can see that long steps going up to the admin block, and the entire campus is access free for all, especially challenged people also. And this school is not just a school, and this morning hours and all, people come here and do their exercise, jogging and all around that. The setbacks we use for jogging track, and multiple events keep happening from various workshops, and then a couple of marriages keep happening, and music shows, and some film shooting and all that. And we charge some for as a rent. This rent also allow the schools to get some fund to make the school sustainable for a long term. And the school also is a got all the solar and water treatment plant, even rainwater harvesting, and we try to use more natural material, and which is also easily available from the nearby places to cut down the carbon footage. And the whole school became just a, as a trendsetter in the Kerala education system. And the government announced around 100 schools to do in such a way. Now, in Calicut itself, we are doing more than 20 schools. And in the entire Kerala, government offered lots of fund to, develop these public schools. So these are a few glimpses of that school. I'll now take through few slides. Um, yeah, this was earlier photographs you can see here, which is the main block, which you can see in a very shabby shape. And then there were not enough classrooms. They used to sit outside. Still, people used to sit outside using that amphitheater and also. And it's a very small campus where you can see, like, there's a big courtyard in the middle, and this is a ramp which we designed for, for to approach the upper levels. And in the backside also there is another courtyard. There are multiple courtyards we connected, and each courtyard, when there is an event, like each courtyard uses for different purposes. This was one of the element which we are talking about, that staircase we added. So this gives a feel of, that approach itself makes a lot of difference for the students. And all the corridors we treated, these are like, these were the old buildings. We just changed the face of that building, and we brought a similar character to the entire campus. That overhanging roofs and all we added. Otherwise, that building was little older block which we converted, and we added these kind of windows which once it opens, it looks like balcony. And we kept that dining area and all open from both the ends, so that face on the western area, so that, like, or the wind allows to move through the entire campus. And there's a this wall you see is in front of the ladies' toilet, and in the ladies' toilet also we added a courtyard. And in the gents' toilet, although the urinal, we also added some blackboard, because this was the earlier trend. Students used to draw on top of the walls. So then we provided a dedicated area for them to draw. And all the corridors, you can see a corridor and the ramp, which we try to move away from the tree to protect that tree. And these are a couple of events we did. This is one of the design talk happened. Lots of artists and architects attended this event from nationally. And we also, that earlier wall, we did an art workshop, and the Binale, Musri's Binale team were here, and they curated the entire wall and did an art. And we also used to have lots of musical shows and keep happening. So this is one of the event. This is all for the young students, and they have a totally different approach to the school now. I'll just introduce my office. That's DAC, Design, Art and Culture. On the same time, this office functions in an old courtyard house. And that we took this house around 4 years before. And this is, we call it Sarpandika Shala. It's an old Gujarati settlement having a courtyard, and they used to have their business on the ground floor, and they used to live in the upper floors. So this was a building which is like, more of a retrofitting. And here we added lots of elements to that. From the demolished buildings, we collected lots of doors and windows. This was the inner courtyard when we approached this place. The first thing what we did, we planted a people tree in the middle of the courtyard. And that's architect Peter Rich from Africa, and all the other architects from Calicut. We gathered and we planted this tree. And that's me and my wife Nimisha. We just that tree was our beginning. Then we changed the entire facade and all with all the old bricks and old windows and doors we added, and lots of columns we added in the inner space. So these are a couple of our meeting spaces. This is as part of the courtyard, we added some corridors and stuff like that. This is the people now. Within 4 years, this became a huge tree now, and it's giving lots of shade and lots of birds and all keep coming. So we have always this gives lots of energy for us. So most of our meetings also keep happening in this space. Every Wednesday we have a music event, on open mic. People come and talk, and then they perform. So these are few of our events shots. And we also did a couple of shows and flea market and all here. So that's more engaging with people. So the idea is like, we want to bring a community space here to connect with the like-minded people and interact. And we also, from Design Ashram, we connect and work with lots of largest literature festival of the country happens from here. And it happens in various venues in Calicut. And we did Sufi festival and flea markets and lots of concerts with lots of and we all the books here are sponsored by lots of readers and writers, and we have a hall which we sometimes use for presentation, movie screening, and art. It's also converted to art gallery. So we have also a dorm where we have travelers to come and stay. So we have 12 beds here. So all the international travelers or domestic travel, they used to come. Now because of the pandemic, we have more domestic travelers. And for people who are really keen about traveling or students who would like to visit Calicut, we give 2-day free stay for them. And it's more like than people staying here. We have more of a connect with all the travelers, and we also feel like we are traveling with them kind of when they exchange their ideas and thoughts. I thought I'll share a few of my projects. I choose one residence and one interior and one commercial project. So this is one of our project we finished in Calicut. It's a riverfront residence. We also took a part of the river inside the complex. Elevation of the house is not really visible, and there is already they had a boat house in the same campus, and this is the way coming in, and all the since it's Kerala, you cannot miss coconut trees. You can see all the coconut trees around. This was the approach, just like we raised the entire plot a little bit so that they can get a river view from there, and we kept a distance because of CRZ, and even the other way, that particular zone was much more. We started, that's a porch you can see, and we added some metal pergolas for the creepers to grow. And after an year and all, the entire pergola is covered with the green. So in all our project, we work mostly with green and things. So these are some of the courtyards within the house, and this is how it looked from the front. And the inner courtyard, where we have just a roof is like little raised, and we are taking the lights from the sides because Kerala we have heavy rain. Sometimes we won't be able to manage the rain and protect the floor area. So, and this is how you look into the top of the courtyard, so you can see all the lights coming from the all sides. This is how it looked from outside too. Well, some other angles of the house. This is from the lobby. You see the river. You can, from a distance, you can see the river on the edge. The same lobby. Yeah, few detailings. And this is one of our interior project. This is in Calicut itself. So it got a mix of classical and contemporary approach, whereas why classical, like where we wanted to have to bring more richness to the space, but more on a, we tried to use more of the natural materials here, and you can see more of a sandstone treated on the wall and the wooden ceilings, and yeah, a few of the different areas. This is a bridal area. Even the lights and all we keep designing in all our projects mostly. I mean, not every light, few lights. These are like the rice bowl we converted into a light, and a few stones we used for lighting and all. Yeah, this is how the staircase goes up. A few more. This is again the stone onyx we used as lighting element. It's another, it's a coffee shop we designed near a forest area. It's called Kappa Cafe. And the concept was the evening this entire building need to shine, so we put lots of design leaf designed cuttings on the cement sheet, and we designed this few evening shops. This is how the interior. It's a very small coffee shop, and we kept mostly the one side of the entry. We kept it open, and it is all designed within a framework of a typical commercial building, and we converted this like this. Yeah, some outside seatings. Now I'll get into the topic. That's more on the social responsibility of all the young architect and the students. So in Calicut, IEA, we are like one of the very active IEA center in the whole country, and I was a last chairman for this center, and so during before itself, like we were used to work more on the public project on a pro bono basis. So our idea was like we need to give design to a human being's every phase of his life from birth to death. So it starts from Amma Total. That's one of the project where they can these people. There are lots of issues with the social system where they babies they throw somewhere and then they got killed. So this Amma Total project is the one project where they can uh, bring to Amma Total and keep the baby on a paddle, and the hospital will take care of it. And the person who give that baby, no one knows who's that. That privacy will be kept. That's the kind of project is Amma Total. From there to Mother and Care Hospital, then the there is markets, schools, heritage conservation projects, and lots of public spaces like beaches, bus stops, public toilets, galleries, then playgrounds, libraries, community hall, then all the urban landscapes, beach, beach area. We were developing a lot of things, and even the housing projects. And there was recently we finished one project is called Home for Homeless. That's Udayam. We in Calicut now there is no one sleeping on the roads or footpaths. Everyone is taken care in the Udayam projects, and they around 150 people can stay in that Udayam project. Maybe in future, maybe we add more. And crematorium is the last project which we are working on now. And when I say we, it's all architects in Calicut. There are few projects we are doing. So, for example, the school which I showed you, and we are also working on other schools, so hospital, bus, and all. So this is some from birth to death. That's the whole concept we have now. So presently, Calicut Center doing around 60 such projects. So these are a few of the projects. This is one I told you about the Amma Total project, where the mother or someone will bring the baby here, and they can hand over the baby from this point. That's Amma Total project. These are few schools. This is within Calicut we did this, and another school. You can see more of the locally available material that's a laterite in all the projects, because we don't want the project to look something from a different place. We always work on the context. This is a school which I showed you, and this one small house and a gallery we designed for a artist. She is a aged artist, and she didn't had a proper house, and also we redesigned her entire house and gave her a gallery for to exhibit our art. And this is another project which is called Samudra. This is for the fishermen community. We designed this and built. Whereas all their events are like for 100 rupees fee they can conduct their marriage function, and if someone else are taking, they will be having their own charges. But for the community, it's almost free. Just want to keep that 100 rupees as a figure. Various events keep happening here. This is a completed image of that. And we do lots of beach development projects. And one of the project we did is the Freedom Square, whereas Freedom Square is representing the one of the freedom fight. This place was having a huge gathering, so giving that history. This is that Freedom Square project. This is the Udayam project. This is actually the rendered image, but it's already completed. And this is another project we are doing is Women and Children Hospital Blood Bank. This is just a blood bank block. The entire campus we are designing. This is just an initial stage of the design. And for flood victims, last time, the Kerala faced flood in the consecutive 2 years. So for the flood victims, we are doing lots of residential projects. So presently we are doing around 56 houses in one Wayanad area. That is this project. This is Anganwadi design for them. And we have this. This is another project for as a fish market. The lower level there will be fish market, and the upper level this will be restaurant. And people buy the fish from there, and they can give their own fish and get cooked from the upper level. And few of the park project and all. This is another school project in the city. Yeah, I'll just briefly tell you about our institute. Is Avani Institute of Design at Tamirsheri near Calicut itself. We four architects started, Tony Joseph, myself, Vinod Svek and Vivek, and we all based in Calicut. And they are a few of our addresses and patterns. This is how the institute, now the structure is almost completed. This it's already functioning, so just a few images. This is the hostel which we have, and few of our photographs of the spaces. This is our studio, students, faculty. So I'll also briefly talk about the World Architecture Travel, which me and I have a partner here called J.K. Jaykrishnan, is from Trivandrum, and so this is we do experiential architectural travel throughout the globe. We have 4 international trips every year, and every month we used to have VAT Connect, that is to go through different cities in every month. That's like 3 day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday we conduct these events in different cities, and those national trips were free for every architects or students who join. We take 2 students in every trip to different cities, but international trips are all chargeable because of we cannot able to afford that. And and this is a few glimpses of our last travel to Cuba, Mexico and Cuba. Few images. And we always have some curators, the local architects and artists. These were our curators for the Mexico and Cuba trip. These are a few images. This is Frida Kahlo's house. A few images of our travelers. And thank you. Me and architect Nimsha, we run the show, and we have around 30 people as architects and engineers. We work here. So that's it. Thank you. So thanks for giving me the opportunity. Yeah, I'm done with the presentation. So hope it's fine. And you can, ma'am, you are not audible for me.
Jyoti ma'am, you are not audible.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Brijesh. It was very inspiring presentation. Now, actually, we'll open for the question and answer session. I hope you have received some questions, Pavanika. In the chat box, I'm not able to see. So I still request the members to kindly, it's not a question answer, but more like a discussion. It's a platform to discuss with Architect Brijesh. So I just request all of you to come forward, and type in the chat box so that I can read, and then Brijesh can, continue the discussion further. Pavanika, are there any questions?
Hello, ma'am. Uh,
Yes.
yes. Sir, as such, the questions are not there, but there are some inputs over here by Professor Geeta ma'am. The spaces and the atmosphere created in your design look so serene, sir. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brijesh, you have given us a message. It's, more than an architect, it's our responsibility to also be a responsive person towards the society. How our design speaks, to the society. So that is what we could observe, from all your designs, right from, a smaller scale to the bigger scale. So how you have included and made your projects a social response to project to the entire fabric of the city.
Thank you, ma'am. And
Yeah.
in fact, it's not just me. We are the community, the entire Calicut architects are putting lots of efforts. Even
Yes.
the young students are there.
Yeah.
So we believe like, it's not working for the society, it is working with the society. So that
Yes.
like, we need to be a part of it. And in today, what the advantage we have, like any decision making in terms of city's development, the first thing the ministers or the MLA or the mayor, everyone calls us every meeting, and we have that respect in the city. And we would like to take Calicut as the model city, and maybe every city can be a model city for the entire globe. So we want to spread that message to all.
Yeah.
Brijesh sir, you're very fortunate, you can say, I can say, with respect to receiving such a lot of encouragement from the government side. I would just like you to, tell me what would be your advice to the budding architects, especially the ones who are just going out of the school and maybe are searching for their field or the field where they would like to express themselves or explore themselves. Can you please tell on that?
Yeah, I can maybe I'm not a good example for as a student, but as Jyoti ma'am and all know, maybe when I joined architecture, I couldn't even speak English or Hindi. So these people were having a very hard time to talk to me. Even today, it's very difficult to talk to me in terms of my language and all. But uh, you know, but the kind of help and support I got from seniors and faculty, like it helped me to start working during the academic period itself. And by the time I finished, there was quite a lot of project to us, like I could showcase to the people and get started to my own practice. But even everyone may be having different kind of dream on the student level. But my approach was like, I started working in my own village because that was much more easy for me to get more projects. So sometimes, like, you go to bigger cities. Of course, it's good to have some experience, but today's time, like, it's not like even I started my practice today. There are lots of institute, lots of architects coming out in every year. It will be very difficult for to establish some practice. So once you have enough experience, I always feel it will be good to start with your own hometown, village, or city, so that you can start doing something for your own people. Then you can establish. So today we are maybe I did my first house and for my own uncle, but today our practice is like we are doing projects all over in the country and even abroad, like UAE and a little bit of Europe part. So hope this can be like there is no boundaries, so we can all explore. So if I can do this, I believe every student can do so much.
Thank you, sir. Yes, you definitely can be an inspiration to all of us and even our students too. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have few more questions for you. Uh, it was inspiring. Where do you get inspired for design for every project? It's by Saurabh Narendra.
Hi, Saurabh. Thanks for that wonderful question. In fact, see, I feel travel helped me a lot. Even I tell my team, oh, you all need to travel. We kind of working on such a practice here. Every member in my office will get 1 month period with pay, and they can travel and come back and rejoin. And so I expect they will be having lots of good exposure. And this exposure is like always there behind you. It's not like when you design, you think through a certain line, but back in your mind these knowledges like really support you, and that will kind of connect you with the design. And for me, every design is like, when I design, it's just to walk through the design. Once the problem is that, like, if you design even it's a small residence, let's say how the car approaches from the gate till, and how you move from your veranda to open the door, then what you see. Just start dreaming it, then it will be easy that, you connect with one space to another space, and you think on the volume level than like just in the plan level. Normally what we do on the college days, like just finish the plan. Okay, now I have to do the elevation. Okay, then finally, like we will write our concept. Okay, now I need to write some concept which no one can read and no one can understand. Then the if that concept is in a tough language, you are successful. No, maybe you can bring some good thought, that itself can be a concept, and be happy, then you will get happy designs. That's what I can comment on that. Hope, Saurabh, I answered you.
Yeah, that is the next question. The projects you exhibited today were really exercise with critical regionalism, as I observed. In the cities with a lesser history or traditional or contextual influences, how can designers achieve critical regionalism, or is it okay to contemporize the designs in that case? The question is very big, Brijesh. If you want, you can open the chat box and then you
Yeah.
can just go through it once.
Yeah. Now, what I understand is like from the question, it is maybe the some cities doesn't have kind of those kind of history or a vernacular architect so enhanced. So how do you approach, or is it is okay to have a contemporary movement? Once the contemporary, which is itself like the word itself, like we have overused, or like we are not using in a correct way. Now, whatever we practice today, that may be the contemporary, but maybe a modern approach we can say. Uh, See, for me, it is not our fault. Architecture never stands its own, because our cars became all globalized, our dressing became all globalized, and how can we expect architecture itself, like very vernacular and stuff like that. But on the same time, what I feel is like whenever we do a public project or something which shows our own, just is used by more people, then we should stick to that context. On the same time, in the modern, there is something wrong to have a modern approach, but even that can be a flat slab, or like it does. I'm just talking in the Kerala context, because we Kerala, when you say everything is pitch roof and all, you have a thought that way. So even but in if you have enough overhangings and to support the walls, it's not just to aesthetically looking at that old project. Just go to the essence of the design, where maybe for example in all our old houses, we used to have verandas to protect the walls. It the overhanging was much low, and people used to bend and go inside. Even in Karnataka, most of the earlier houses where I been, like they used to have a courtyard where they used to have the cattle used to feed, and then the farmer kind of things. They used to have that storing space and stuff like that. Now the entire requirement stage, the town, maybe the plot itself will be very narrow and you cannot do everything there. But essence of that design we can still follow, but aesthetically it can be contemporary also for individual residential projects as such. So, but all the design need to be sensibly approached than like, just it is not just to take a photograph and exhibit to people. It is inside you, the client need to be comfortable and they should appreciate you for a happy living spaces. Hope I answered it correctly. I don't
Yeah,
know.
this question is by one of our student, Vadiraj Kulkarni. I think, yeah, you have addressed to his question. We can deeply see, how the contemporary lines mixed with the vernacular palette of materials. We can see in your work, Brijesh.
Thank you.
I would like to, since it is a discussion and not a question answer session, I would like to just clarify a certain thing. Like critical regionalism doesn't mean that you have to kind of find some architectural symbolism in a particular region and then apply it to your design. Critical regionalism kind of envelops a larger aspect, like the river was there next to the house which sir has designed, and how he has incorporated and responded to that. That also can come under critical regionalism. Maybe just using the local materialism also will bring that regionalism aspect. So it is not necessary, Vadiraj and students, that you have a certain architectural character, or I will not call it character, I'll say symbolism, and then apply that. That does not, or even design, that does not become only aspect of critical regionalism. So in certain regions where you may not be having such characteristics, you can still go in for at looking at how ventilation or designing or scale or proportion, and then apply that even into your design. So that also I could see it in sir's design. I was very happy when you opened it up, sir, with the school, because I was praying cross fingers ki you will show us the school
Yeah,
actually.
definitely. We would like to
Yes,
work with Brijesh in that school.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
Once
very
everything becomes
You all
normal.
are welcome. You all
Yes,
are
yes.
welcome. Maybe we'll conduct a VAT tour to Calicut for you all.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
nice. Sir,
So,
I have one question for you.
uh,
Your design approach is not the mainstream kind of approach. It is a little, holistic and a little down to earth, and something which many of our clients will not be looking or may not be looking forward for. Okay, and obviously they will have a different view or different imagination or different demands. Have you come across such situations? And if you have come across such situations, I'm asking this question purposely because there are many here people here are students, even in the live streaming, who are young budding architects and who are trying to do something beyond such kind of mainstream populist designs. So for them, I'm sure they must be facing some problems. And so, how do you approach, or what do you do in such kind of situations?
Yeah, Rubali ma'am, thanks a lot for that question. And first of all, thanks to adding that note on the, critical regionalism. So that's also one good knowledge I got from you. So thank you. And see, this is whatever I showed you in the presentation is which I can show you. There are so many projects which I can't show to people because, like, I equally did wrong, bad designs. So this is I always have a discussion and debate with all our media people, magazines and stuff. You take the movie magazines and all, there will be criticism. In our field, hardly there is a criticism. We always say, okay, this building is good, even if that is bad. Even they write it as good only. So I had my own very bad experiences. Even I consider everything as a problem to be solved. Sometimes, like my clients come up with lots of vastu issues and or maybe their vastu cannot be my vastu, and it is nothing sometimes it won't make any sense too. And sometimes I want very classical house, and the client may be ready to pay me 1 crore fees. I have a office practice, running here. So classical to classical, paisa to milne do, to run the show. But it cannot be showed to public in terms of my. That's I cannot showcase as my design ideology and all. But that's a private house. He want that either me or someone else do. I'll try to make it more sensible. But I don't think there is anything wrong in a classical thing. But of course, there is a huge money pumped into that house, which personally I won't be maybe very happy. But I also criticize myself in other way. If this guy don't pump that money to that house, I won't get my fees. Even these people who constructing, the contractor won't get money, the labor won't get money. Then the guy will be keeping that money in a bank, or he'll buy a land. It will be set. The money need to be circulated also. So I feel the luxury things need to happen to other for the poor guys luxury to happen. So everywhere uh, this circulation need to happen. That's what I feel. And there is nothing say that everything will be in a whatever you do is good, but at least try to learn all the mistakes and don't repeat it. So that's how the design maturity will come. Even one of my second year of my practice, one of my residents, after reaching the first floor, the entire residence got collapsed. Then I learned, I need to be more careful about
Cautious.
the structures and stuff like that. So try to learn and address it, and take that ownership also. Like, if you can get good compliments and happy, you also need to take that ownership of that your failures also. Then it won't be a problem. Otherwise, you always run away from it.
That's very
That's
true,
my
sir.
simple thought. Thank you.
Correct.
Yes.
So we have from Prasanna Matikop, one of our colleague friend. He's a landscape architect. Great work and thrilled to see architects involved into making public social spaces more impactful. Could you please elaborate on what challenges or how was your overall journey so far to shed the framework of private architectural practices, which is long set in our society, and shift towards a complete socially responsible practice?
Yeah, I think I answered a little bit of this
Yeah.
before. This is not just my practice. We otherwise known as one of the most expensive residential architects here in this part. But apart from this, like in all the social projects, what we do want to retain all the heritage, and we need to have quality to bring to the social spaces. That's our responsibility, and we consider this as our war. Maybe let's say the authors they write, and poets they sing, and like the movie makers they express their thoughts, and artists they express their thoughts through their art. So architects like us, our tool to express is the social spaces, how good we create and how we can show this happy spaces for people, and how their behavior changes. So this gives a different kick altogether. It's even there were project which was getting a very good fee. The and other side the public project doesn't have a fee, but these public projects are keeping us happy and live, and we keep taking more and more projects like that, so that that serves our purpose of living kind of thing. So I want all the young architects and students to be a part of the movement. So as a young architects chairman for the Indian Institute of Architects, I would like all to be a part of IEA also. So even students can be IEA member, and there is lots of things. I also request all the faculty to submit your papers for our Journal of Indian Institute of Architects, and you can even directly mail me. I am one of the editor in the board. So the entire journal is also totally changed. I hope few of you might be a member and you're getting the journal. So there we would like to have more quality papers coming in, and that can help more students and teachers also. So and we will also happy to connect with our institute if any exchange programs or things can be happened. Avini is always welcome to connect and do better.
Yeah, we would always look forward to that, sir. Thank you for the.
Yeah, there is, one more, you can say, like a good quote by one of our faculty, Prasad Kulkarni. Really deep thought on money cycle. Thank you for flagging that off to us responsible architects.
Thank you.
Okay. Brijesh, my question to you is like, how do you manage your time? You are a multifaceted personality. So how do you give time to all that what you're doing?
This I suppose to ask Nimisha, my wife. She will be having a better answer, and she will have her own, other side of the story also. So anyway, this is mm, rather. I'll put it this way: like I have a very good team here. The people who started working with me from the day one, they are still with me. They are my managers in position, and and one of the other area which I felt like I always keep telling my clients also that if they ask me about, okay, what is today's cement price. I don't know, I seriously don't know about the cement price, or I don't know most of the things happening in the project. Then I'll tell them, I'll give you the answer, this is the guy from my office, he will answer. You divide this your responsibility to different people, and they will take care of, and they need to be answerable. Otherwise, you keep 20 people or 30 people, even 100 people, and if you can't give that responsibility to them, and if you don't, if you keep on asking them, okay, what happened today, what happened tomorrow, and all, like, that question also your clients will ask them, no, kya hai? When that will happen and stuff like that. So my biggest lesson from my practice is to answer my clients that sorry, I don't know. That is my biggest answer, which I learned. That gives me a lot of space and time. Otherwise, I won't be able to live without keeping my phone back, because all the questions will come directly to me. So this is one way of looking at, I feel. I mean, I don't know this is the right way, but this is my way of living. And I cannot stay one place. I keep traveling and do some multitasking. So and also I cannot design the whole day. I work. I am little early guy. Around 4:35 I wake up. I finish off my all design or stuff by 7:30, maximum 9ish. Then in the office I can't work. I'll just have some meetings and coordination stuff. So that's my story. Nothing very rocket science. It's very simple.
Yeah. So this is by Sambrekar, ma'am. That's wonderful, sir, that you really believe that travel and exposure will definitely help expand your horizon. But is it also not detrimental that one can also get influenced the other way around, like what is happening today with a typical structures everywhere with no reference to your roots?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you just, I mean, can
Madam
you just
is there,
brief it?
ma'am, you can elaborate it.
Yeah, yes, sir. What I meant to say was, like, say, yes, travel and I mean, the amount of exposure that you get through seeing various places and structures is really fine. But it is also, I mean, the other way around. Like, say, now you go to I mean, you see that many cities and towns, or even the smaller cities also, are having the structures which are just typical everywhere. So it is like they're getting, I mean, you are getting influenced by what's happening in the larger cities, and then you're forgetting what actually is the, I mean, say, the character of your place. So, and the essence of the roots is really not there. So you find that every other building now, even in smaller cities also, is looking typical or similar.
Yeah, see, my point when I said travel, it is not about just international travel or, even from here to my house, I'm in the office now, it's a travel, like, even one step you step. So every day your surrounding changes, the people changes, even a beautiful woman walking in front of you, her dressing changes every day. So, keep noticing. Bag design, phone design, car design, everywhere there is a design element. So when we have always a problem like, no, I don't have money, I can't travel. No, there is no need of much money to travel. Whenever you travel to places, so I still remember my first international trip into Europe. Like, I was there for 11 days. Apart from my travel ticket, I spent hardly 3,000 Indian rupees. I used to stay with locals. I used to still I go and sleep maybe sometimes on the floor in that guest apartment, because there and all maybe one room is big enough. They have a bed, so and I cook with them, eat with them. And today, when I have my dome here, so I want to have more travelers to come in, and they can have some free stay, so that, like, people can get connected. Next time when I go that side, they will host me like that. So everywhere this can be connected. So I think travel, students especially, they need to travel, and they can. When I was in Bijapur, I used to travel to Bijapur. Was such a place. Even Belgaum is same. Like, every one night you can reach to Goa, Mumbai,
Yes,
Hyderabad, Chennai, or, like, this side, Bangalore, Mysore, and all that.
yes,
So, in little bit money, and you can also get into some college hostel and stay with your friend, and, experience things. So there are a number of possibilities. So when you have that kind of exposure, so that the second part of the question, maybe, that I was discussing about the globalization, and things are happening everywhere around. So it is not just through you travel, like, what you look through the books and media. Media is a big influence now in terms of everything, you get through Instagram or Facebook or, YouTube or whatever. And even movies you look at, like, all that. Architects, we also, yeah, we our eyes just go through, let's say, any new international movie, or, like, hypothetical movies, and comes, like, our also we also go through the detail, the detailing is very important, what I feel. So
true, true,
let's
sir.
our students be open about the detailing.
We, yeah, yeah, very true. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Brijesh, I think we are done with all the questions.
Yeah, I'm so happy to get connected with you all. And any students, anything you want, you can be open with me. You can just whatever media you're comfortable, like, Facebook or Instagram, or my number is also available. Anything you can contact me. No, don't expect much, but whatever I can do, I'll do my level best.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Brijesh, for such an exhilarating session. It has indeed been a very insightful discussion. While this evening is coming to an end, we are overwhelmed with all the knowledge we have gotten to gather from this intellectual session. Our next webinar is by architect Vinayak Barne on livable cities, which is scheduled on 18 September. Now, I request Professor Pavanika Patil to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. Um, Sir, after your presentation, I could remember here Jan Gale's quote: "Nothing in this world is more simple and cheaper than making cities that provide better for the people." Thank you, sir, for the humanitarian impact that you are giving through your work. So, on the onset of this, I feel privileged to extend our gratitude to architect Brijesh Saigal for accepting our invitation and for this presentation on social responsibilities of an architect. Thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to the architect fraternity who have taken time amidst their busy schedule to attend the webinar. At the same time, the student community attending today. I take this opportunity to thank KLSGIT management and principal Dr. J.K. Kittur for always extending their support. A special thanks to HOD Professor Anath Adkodkar ma'am for encouraging and supporting us to explore the new frontiers. I thank Professor Jyoti Patil ma'am for coordinating and smoothly conducting the webinar. I thank my colleagues, students for being enthusiastic participants for today. Heartfelt thanks for organizing committee of the Space Talk webinar series, Professor GMS ma'am, Professor Rupali ma'am, Professor Prasad Kulkarni, without whose efforts this event couldn't have been possible. I thank all who are directly or indirectly have helped in conducting today's webinar. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brijesh. Okay,
Yeah,
we will be in touch with you. Hope you
Yeah.
will, accept our students' requirement in case anything is required
Yeah,
for them
sure.
with respect to IIA. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
we also welcome you to our institute. Once everything becomes normal, we would like to have your presentation, on the physical grounds in our institute.
Sure. I'll be happy to do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night for.
Yes, thank you. We shall
Good
end
night.
the meeting
Thank you,
now.
sir.
Thank you all for your patience hearing. Okay, bye. Good night.
We are happy to announce that our next speaker, who will be an international speaker, architect Vinayak Bhane, who is the avid urban planner from USC. So we'll be looking forward for all the participants on September 18th at 11 o'clock Indian Standard Time. So we'll be hoping to see you all again on September 18th.
Yeah, it was really a wonderful presentation.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
Pavanika.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Ma'am,
Prasad
Thank you, ma'am.
and Samrekar ma'am.
on
Yes. Yes.
video.
Yes.
Yes,
Ma'am,
thank you. Thank you.
ma'am,
Can
on
you
Please.
hear me?
YouTube, ma'am,
Yeah.
on
Yes,
YouTube,
yes.
Mangesh
Okay.
Prabhuramkar has messaged ma'am. He's asking
It
for
was
a
a nice
question, ma'am.
presentation.
Yes, ma'am, it was actually a good presentation, ma'am. Very amazing session.
Uh,
Nice one.
okay, I think
Great. Congratulations to all of you.
has
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Waiting.
successfully completed the second webinar.
Yes.
Congratulations to
Yes,
all.
ma'am.
Where are you,
We,
Jyoti?
You're not able to see me, ma'am? Okay.
No.
no.